recording. Okay. So I'm gonna read in the animal names. I'm going to split them into an array based on the end of line character. So now book file lines will have an array of single lines, right?
Yeah.
And I should have like 300 if I run this. Then I need to loop through each line and create an animal object from each line and then store that animal object into an array. So I need to have an array animals.
See that?
Equals array.
How did I do that? Yeah, and then animal inside there, and then two parentheses on the end of it.
I'm a virtual box like
There we go. All right, so that's an animal array. It's like backwards
Weird.
constructed. So this is a blank array that will hold an animal object. So then I need to loop through my outer lines. So we're gonna do that around here. So, and my variables are kind of messed up because this was for books, but let's see. So we're gonna do a loop like this. Can I get my copy and paste right again? So this is a single animal, and this is going to be just a line. For A of type string. There we go. So A is a line, a comma, delimited line. Maybe we should call it line. Line, all right. So that's a line.
It's not throwing an error, but you don't have a closing curly brace on it.
Let's way down here. Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be around this guy. So then we're going to separate all of these. So this is just going to be line. We're going to separate each line by a comma, which gives me an array. We'll call this animal one. I don't know what animal. How about a raw animal?
base animal.
All right, it's not a.
I don't have a book anymore.
So now I've got 3 or 4 different things from the animal. So let's open this guy. So I've got here. So here's a bird. So I've got 3 things. The name is going to be what? How do I get the name out of this variable here?
Sub-zero.
Okay, so now I need to create a new animal. And we're gonna add it to our animals array. So we do an animal and we pass in the backwards from what my file is. So Number legs is the second one, so that's going to be raw animals.
Legs.
Base.
Animals sub 1.
You keep all these languages straight.
It's hard. It's very hard. And then we have raw animal. Oh, it's a singular. Raw animal, which is the name, is going to be the first element, and that's the name. And then we have raw animal sub 012 is going to be the color, right? Something wrong with it.
You're not. Oh, that shouldn't be a common language.
See, I do it wrong.
Oh, so we do legs and then base animal after.
Yeah, it's the other way around. So, doggone it.
Just off.
That's how I keep it in my head. I don't, apparently. So legs is going to be, it's the reverse.
What button does that? The backspace, the one in front.
The delete key on the keyboard, on the above the arrows, does a forward delete. All right, and then name is going to be raw animals of 0,
Pretty slick.
and color is raw animals of 2.
Always learn something new.
All right, this guy's gone. That was just for reference points. Now what it doesn't it like?
You're not assigning it to anything.
It's not subscript a value type string.
Oh, because your number is trying to come in as a.
Oh,
No,
I don't-
no, because when you read it from the file, it comes in as a string.
But it has to be.
But it's an integer for legs, isn't it?
When you create a.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying to cast a string into int.
So,
So,
int on.
It's
raw
this one,
animal
the
is
legs,
legs.
and you
Yeah.
can barely see this little red thing here. There's a
So we have
red
to-
thing right there. So we have to convert that into a number. I think we can do this.
I think it's just int.
I did int, but that didn't be
Because it's coming in empty, so when if it comes in,
It's supposed to
you have to do have some way, if it's blank, it needs to, but it won't be blank. So that's not.
So it's unwrapped. I have to unwrap it too because it might be nothing, right? So,
Yeah.
so for that we have to unwrap it. So we do a if let legs equals if that's the case, if it has something in it, I want to set
If it doesn't have anything,
yeah,
then
if
set
it
it.
doesn't,
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything.
Oh, yeah. You have to do something though, because
Yeah, so we need another variable, legs. We'll set it to 0 to start with, and then we'll set No, we can't use legs, so. Now what does it look like? So.
Legs equals legs. Legs.
Oh, you forgot the closing friends.
Oh, around raw animal. Is it even too bad you came, John?
There we go. All right, so now that unwraps legs. God, that's such a lot of work for that. So now legs either has 0 or a number in it.
Still throw
And then we can pass in legs here. Right, so that's the name. What doesn't it like now?
Result of initializer is unused.
It is.
Oh, because I'm not using it inside of my value here. I am though. Oh, I haven't assigned it to anything.
Yeah.
I have to assign this now. Now we have to add the animal to the animals array. And so how do we do that?
Append.
So we animals dot append an object.
You didn't think I'd know that.
Just testing you. Yeah. All right. So that all of that work takes each line and creates a new animal and stuffs that animal into my animals array.
So that puts every animal in
That
there.
has that's my original all animals. So maybe we should call it that, all animals.
So then to split it into an array that only the computer knows about, you'll have to cycle through all animals.
Yep.
And check whether.
Yep. So we did all of that. We did all of this stuff. That was all of this stuff here. Well, let's still leave that book file lines. All right. All right, so now we have an array. And
Will it run?
yeah, let's see if it even runs. Let's see if we can print. Can I print an array? Probably not. So we probably just get an object identifier. Yep. So I got an object identifier, which is not that useful.
You got it so many times.
Because there's 300 of them.
Also, so it's
325. So it printed, when I printed the array, it printed an array of all of these objects,
I got you.
which is not really useful. So we could print sub-0, right? Wow, that is interesting. Do you see? I didn't think it would do that.
Put it all in the same.
Why would it do that? Unless my first... No, that doesn't make sense.
Append's supposed to add to the end of the array.
Yeah, but
That's like an animal object. We do something.
I told it to print one animal.
Well, so that means every animal is in the first index.
That's what it
right?
looks like, yeah. So we have to,
So that,
no, see, that's weird. How did it do that? So there's something wrong with my line. So let's print our line. gives us. So that's right. Each of our lines is right. And now, that's weird. I didn't change anything. And it's still, now that one's only printing me one animal.
Yeah, see, that's what mine was doing. That's
So
why I
that's,
was like, what the heck?
why did it switch? Let's print the description of it.
When I do sub, yeah, it just prints me one when I do the subs. And so I can go up to 360.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
So now I didn't change anything though. I'm wondering why this still seemed to print. The print somehow is printing every animal,
Then when you added,
which is weird.
told it to print the lines, all of a sudden it started only printing
Yeah.
one index.
I'm not sure why it's doing that. All right, so anyway, we have our lines. I think that looks better. Let's do that just to see.
You must have another
Yeah.
print statement that's confusing.
Yeah,
That
Maybe your prints.
that list must be something separate.
The count.
Print book file data.
Oh, that's the whole file.
Yeah.
Maybe that's screwing me up.
Well, because it only should be
Ah,
printed. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
better. Jeez. Good catch. So there's
591, but we're only getting 325 in the array. Right?
that's what it looks like to me. How many lines? I can't tell in here. This isn't a good.
Yeah.
This doesn't show me. See, the editor's just really.
Do you have to right click on that tiny little sliver space between the between the file and the names? You see, there's just a tiny little
Like in
box.
JetBrains.
Yeah, right. Right click, maybe in the middle of there. Nope. Just the names.
I know, where
Let
is
me
it?
know how good we're doing.
Really? It's frustrating.
Ethan, count them.
All right, that's why I like an external editor. So we'll go to Text Wrangler. This one has
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
591.
It only was 325.
There's for the book files.
Yeah, I think my printing is wrong here.
The 325 is the book. You have a hard coded 325 line somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem with leaving old code in here. It screws you up. It's not good.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were looking.
I like to leave the old code in though, then when I go to
I know.
compress it, I do that much better.
Oh, animals dot count. There we go. So we have so now we have all the animals in an array, and we can play with that. So now we need to loop through. We need to create a new array that we'll call. That's the same thing. It's just not all animals. It's going to be.
No animals.
Probably should switch to app code.
I tried to get that to run on VirtualBox, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that was- that was mine too. I couldn't.
Because it's running Java, so that
It
slows
was
it way
free.
down. All right, so our known animals, to get that, we have to loop through the same thing. So we're going to loop through which is an animal in my animal array.
I think it's all animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, would you guys shut up?
I know, just shut up. I'll get there. No, that's all right. That's good. I like to see you guys actually debugging on the fly here. This is
Debugging all
good.
weekend, that's
This
right.
is actually what they do, pair programming. You have pair programming. Two people programming the same text file. And you have one guy watching you over your shoulder or on a separate monitor, and one guy types.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they
Yeah.
work out the code
That's true.
together as they go through it. It's kind of painful
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Especially if you get someone
because
that's not
people
very
program differently. I like to
Yeah.
do little pieces at a time, and so
That's the only.
it's
way to
good.
do it.
It's a good way to do it for training somebody, though, because
Yeah.
you're teaching them how to do it, or vice versa. Works
Yeah,
pretty good.
that would make sense.
All right, so I need to extract an animal. So we could do the same thing. I could create a new animal object. I swear. And we're going to append a new animal to our known animals, and this will be a dot legs, and this will be a dot name, and this will be a dot color. Okay, so I'm going to append that, but only in what conditions?
Only if all fields have something valid.
Only if a dot color is not equal to nothing, and a dot name is not equal to nothing, and a dot legs is not equal to what?
Zero.
Zero, right.
So what about, like a fish or something, because they don't have any legs? But I guess if they had 0 legs and no color, theoretically you still wouldn't know.
Yeah, because the and.
'Cause otherwise the
Yeah,
color would be filled.
so in that case, we should not check this, because every animal is gonna have 0 legs to start with.
And every
So,
animal has legs.
yeah,
Or has
so
names.
if they don't have this, that should be enough to tell us that it's a valid guy.
You don't think we should maybe check for like negatives or something? Crappy input.
Check for what?
Just
Negatives.
negatives, some
Negative
crappy-
legs. He's
Crappy
got-
user input.
Yeah.
This fish has -7 legs.
All right, so now my known animals should have less of them in it.
What, like
And
3?
let's print out my known animals, 0 dot description. Okay, so my ant, so I've got 5 animals that have stuff in it. And the first one is an ant that has 6 legs and is red.
Now, couldn't you,
Sweet.
in that if statement, couldn't you take the name out of there and just check for color? Because every animal has a name.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever you want. All right, there you go. That's my known animals.
Beautiful.
It should still work. After Devin's change, let's see if it fixes it. Let's see. Works good. 5 little guys. So does that answer your question, Devin? Nathan?
It does. I mean, this is where I'll be able
It's
to.
a lot of code, but
That's a lot of code.
Yeah.
It's a lot of code.
I tried. Very much
So, and it's memory intensive because I've now duplicated objects
Yeah.
Theoretically, my known animals wouldn't have to be an array of full animal objects. It could be an array of indexes into my original array. Right? That's another way of doing it, another option. So it would still have 5 in it, but known animal sub-0 might be 16, and that's the pointer to my original array. That would save memory, but who cares about memory these days?
More the better.
So there's lots of ways to do that. So now what I would do is I would take and make me a method that returns an array of things that match some input. I think that would be useful in my program. So I want, from my known animals, I want all the animals that are red. So it'd be easier to search through, right? And so then you search through those.
So
Or
like-
all animals that have one leg, all
Such and
animals.
such a leg.
Okay.
Now, see, when you go to write that, when the computer learns something new, you're gonna have to add that data to
To
both arrays.
both arrays, yep. Because, and if anything changes, I have to add it to my all animals, so that when I quit and write this back out to the disk, my
You still have-
text file still has all the data in it.
Well, when you write it, wouldn't it inherently know next time you run the program all the new information?
Yep.
Only if you make sure
Oh.
that it correctly writes.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
If you add a new animal here, you want to make sure to add it to all
Yeah.
animals. So
Append it to
when
the-
you print, yeah.
You gotta append it to known animals and append it to all animals.
Well, do you have to append it to both when it writes? Because when
Not when it writes, just to the end, but
To keep track of
to
it.
keep track as you're running the
Oh,
20
as-
questions, you've
so
got
if
to.
you don't,
I don't
so
want
if
to
you
read
don't write-
I don't want to read the whole file in again just because they added an animal.
Okay, I got what you're saying. Okay.
So if we converted the blank space to a 0 for the legs, do we write it as a 0 back to the file? Or
That's up to you. It would probably, well, the problem is.
It's reading it in.
It's reading it in this way.
expecting
You would have to
yeah.
change, unless you had a one-time flag in here somehow, you'd have to change all of these to have a 0 to start with.
Because, the first time you read it in, it's gonna be looking for empty or a value.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
Which is possible. So what is it? Is legs
Right.
second?
In the method.
Let's see, I read it in my 1, 0, 1, so that, so legs is second. So you'd have to change all of these guys. Let's see if that'll work, actually. Nope. I was gonna backspace 1 and anyway, you could do this. Now look for 2 commas replaced with a comma 0.
And just change the file that you gave us and just instead of having a blank, just put 0 in it. to
Yeah,
start with?
but you'd have to change your original data to do
Yeah.
that.
Which for us, I think it's called animals-1, where yours is.
Oh,
it is.
you call it whatever you want. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Thanks. I think because I uploaded it again with data, Canvas added a 1 to it.
Would it be easier for you to test if we all use the same, or you just?
You're gonna have to send me the file
Okay,
with
okay.
it. So, just like the whole Ruby hash assignment, I need that text file and your program. All right.
Do you use the text wrangler?
I'm sorry?
Using text wrangler?
Yeah, for an external editor, that works really good. It's free, and you find it at.
I already have it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to find where you replace.
Control F or Command F.
You got good 14 minutes left. Could you show us how to write the rest of this program?
Well, we did a lot right there.
That's a huge.
Dave, are you replacing it with comma, zero comma?
Yeah. So then you're gonna have to change your code in here too, if that's what you
So-
did, but,
So if the user answers no on both questions, does the computer give up or just wildly guesses?
It would keep guessing about animals it knows.
about animals it knows until it runs out of animals it knows,
And they-
or hits 20 questions.
And they can ask, is the animal red or is the animal pink?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can ask about colors.
Yep.
So we'd have to. I'm seeing so our known we for like checking if the answer's already been guessed. We need to
You need some methods,
some kind of thing or
like a case statement or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is it called a case statement? in-
Switch,
Final
I
game
think it's
is
called a
what?
switch statement. What?
Essentially final.
Final? No, you guys know how to program already.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I
It's
know, it's just
basic
Swift sucks.
syntax, which is painful, but
Swift is
still it's
painful.
syntax.
This is extremely good because I mean at this point we know several languages.
Yeah.
And learning a new one, we already know how to do everything, but
Just working around the syntax.
So-
getting to know the syntax and stuff is good experience.
It is. That's the whole thing, to write something
Yeah.
that you know.
'Cause in
I'm
5
just
years
kidding,
when they
but
come
it's-
out with
Still painful.
It is. It is painful.
Swift Plus.
So let's. I could write that. We got a few minutes, and it's too much to go into iOS. I want to actually build an app next. So
Ooh, so for our next assignment, do we have an emulator for that?
yeah, it's built into
Oh,
here.
nice.
Yep.
Yeah, when I was doing the
I remember
iOS
where it is.
app research, they say it's kind of built in. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Is it as bad as JetBrains built in? Or Android's built in?
No, it's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
No, these are pretty good. So this starts up this is a 6 Plus, but the problem is the resolution on a 6 Plus is bigger than this Mac. The resolutions are really big, so that's why it looks so huge here.
Oh.
So you have to zoom it, scale it down to like 33% to see the
Okay.
full phone. But there you go, there's a phone.
I'm glad I got that memory upgrade now.
So this is a real phone, but they don't have a home button. You have to go up here and say home. That's the bottom.
Didn't you used to have a 6 Plus?
I have one.
You still have?
That's the bottom. This button here.
Oh, okay.
There's
Yeah.
one button on the iPhone. So anyway, so let's write a method that returns, we'll call it select animals, and we'll pass it in legs, and color. I'm doing this wrong, I'm sure.
Painful.
Let's see.
Legs.
Yeah, legs is first. So,
You had
and
stripes
then
to.
is color. And it's going to return an array. Let's see if we can return an array. Should be able to.
To return an animal
So we
array?
have to tell it what type of array it is. because I have, what's wrong with that?
You're using L.
Well, I haven't used them yet. Don't give me that stuff. What the heck? I haven't written it yet. Of course, it's unused. So then, and we probably should pass in the actual array. So we'll call it my, no, keyword. Known is going to be known. So that's going to be an array of type array there we go. That should be right.
It should be the other way around. Known in front of the animal, or the animal array.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
When I watch your videos at home, sometimes I find myself saying like, Dave, it's right there.
It's right there. I know. That's right. Can't you see that? All right. So then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to walk through and return a new array. So I'm going to create a new array, local array, and that will be what we return. And then we're going to walk through our incoming known, or let's call this selected animals. And this is going to be what?
And selected.
This is, no, I have this wrong. This should be known, and this should be animal. Right? For every animal in my known incoming array, create me a new variable called A, which I can play with. So if a.color equals my color coming in and my a.legs, it's the same thing as legs coming in, then I'm going to append it.
You're still going to get an error at the method income because you're not telling legs it's an int or color it's a string, right? Isn't that what it means? Use blank query.
Yeah, this is stupid. This should be string. Why didn't you catch that earlier? Come on, man. And this should be an int. There we go.
No, that's
Oh,
the other
backward.
one. color should be straight.
Come on. That's what I said. My fingers just typed it wrong. There we go.
It's a test.
Wow.
Oh my God. Oh, capital S and capital I.
Come on.
This is the
Well,
pickiest language
yeah.
ever,
No.
just all the time, man.
And then
I typed two things and it's like, no.
I think on the array you should switch those two.
This one?
Array animal. The
Oh,
color
array.
should be first and then.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
This is brutal.
It's still telling me legs is unrequired.
Is it a closure?
See, that's why.
It should be colon known inside the parentheses. Right after the array animal.
Oh, I put it.
Yeah.
What the heck? How'd they get there? Sure, can I return? Oh. Still gonna return this though. Oh my God, come on. It's gotta be getting close.
There's a space.
It wants me to put underscores.
Yeah, there's a space between the column and an array.
Yeah, it's real picky about spaces. But still, what's wrong with that?
It's telling me it's expecting a colon right before array.
It's good.
All right. So there's something wrong with passing an array as a parameter. So let's go look it up.
You just put the
Square bracket.
square bracket.
Just like you declared on selected animals.
Well, I mean something, man.
Like this.
Someone was like,
Okay, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and just delete the part before that.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly. Not our project.
Go look it up. There you go. So we do it this way. So it's an array.
Is there meant to be a little, you have a parenthesis right after in on your array? Yeah.
No, that's just my
Just reference.
reference. No, it doesn't want color.
Colors in
Oh, damn, I was gonna say now it doesn't like color.
It's got to still be thrown in there because it doesn't like array. Right?
Yeah, that's not quite right yet.
Yeah, it's just called my array of parameters. And it wants me to put a
You should pass it as a type instead of.
Got to. I'm still recording, guys, so just be quiet. And then my known is going to be no.
Leg 6.
Known is going to be my array of known animals.
And legs.
Jeez.
Oh.
Semicolon 6.
Actually not.
Oh, really?
You can't put it in the first parameter. Which, doesn't that seem stupid?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Seriously, that's an error.
What?
Yeah, the first one doesn't need the parameter, but everything else has to have it. Why not just make them all have it? That's just crazy. So now I should be able to print my red animal sub-zero
You know,
description.
it was Ruby that was getting hated on, and Swift that was getting hated on.
Swift is
when I was
it's the
researching.
next new language I'm gonna bang all over. Yay, I got an
Hey,
ant.
grant back.
Look at that, it worked.
You miss.
I got me an ant back. All right, go away.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you, sir.
Told you that.